factors high blood pressure. Kuna mtu unajua kuna high blood pressure? Kuna mtu umesikia fununu? We've had, we still have in studio someone by the name John Kimani, who is a nutritionist and who works with Bahati Sub-County Hospital. And he's here helping us understand more about what it is, what it does, what you need to do to prevent and also to manage it. Karibu sana. Remember, our SMS line is open for texting. Don't forget, ask any question concerning high blood pressure na tutaweza kukujibu. Pia pale kwenye social media platform on Facebook na pia YouTube, we are coming to you live as Mizpah TV Kenya. Tuzidi kusemezana, karibuni sana. Welcome back, our guest.
Thank you.
And we've defined what it is, what high blood pressure is.
Yes.
We've also defined what it, some of the symptoms, what causes it.
Yes.
Sasa na tunafaa tujue pia what is the risk factor to it.
The risk factor?
Ndio mtu akaya kijua.
Yes.
By the way,
yes.
Your risk factor.
Yeah,
so what is the risk factor?
So the risk factor, first of all, we define it. Okay. A risk factor is something that will make you have this hypertension tomorrow or in future. That is it.
Okay, so hauna sai, but kuna high possibility upate kesho.
Upate kesho. That's a risk factor.
Okay.
And if at all we manage these risk factors, or we try to remove these factors, we will reduce by a very great percentage the chances of us getting this hypertension in future.
Okay.
So the first risk factor what we talk about, it's lifestyle.
Okay.
The lifestyle. Lifestyle means how you are living today, what you are eating today. It's the way you live today. And
allow me to ask, allow
yes.
me to just cut you kidogo.
Yes.
You are talking about the primary and the secondary.
The secondary.
Yes.
Yes.
And you mentioned primary is that it's that moment when you don't have maybe any other cause. Condition that can lead to high blood pressure.
Yes.
And the secondary, you mentioned kunaweza kuwa na cause.
Yes.
You mentioned only pregnancy.
Yes.
Are there any diseases that are associated with it?
So
that can lead to that?
Yes. The first one, we said pregnancy, because of the changes of the hormone.
It's a condition, not a disease.
It's a condition, not a disease. Yes, it's a condition.
Yes.
The second one, diabetes. So when you have diabetic,
you're prone to have.
You're prone to have. Okay, it will not even that. It will cause you. It will cause the accumulation of this bad cholesterol. Then you get high blood pressure. So kidney issues. When you have the issue with your kidneys, you're going to have high blood pressures because we are going to have a lot accumulation of those toxins in the body. Automatically, you get high blood pressure.
Yes.
If you have the issue with the heart, maybe your heart is not working properly, you are at risk of getting, or it will predispose you to hypertension.
Okay.
So those are some conditions, including also stress. Stress is a condition. When you have a lot of stress, you are likely to have pressure itapanda automatically. So those are but under the primary hypertension, we said secondary. Secondary, it was brought up by something else. If at all you manage these other condition that was bringing pressure, hypertension in your body, then this hypertension will most likely disappear.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Now coming back now to the risk factors.
The risk factor.
You started with lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Yes, let's continue.
So lifestyle, anybody who is taking alcohol, you are at a very high risk of hypertension.
Okay.
Anybody who is smoking cigarettes, it's a very high risk of getting hypertension.
Okay.
Anybody who is overweight or obese, we check your weight, we check your height, we do something called body mass index, BMI. If you're classified as overweight or obese, you're at a very high risk of getting hypertension.
Yeah.
Another factor, stress factor. If today you have a lot of stress, or you're living in an environment where you're not comfortable, there's a very high risk of getting hypertension.
Okay.
So those are the risk factors. And we also have a family history. If you come from a family that has hypertension, you are at a very high risk of getting hypertension on this basis. Number one, maybe the hormonal makeup in your body. Number two, maybe your lifestyle. Maybe you are born in a family whereby everybody lives a sedentary lifestyle. Nyinyi hamfanyagi kazi kwenyu. Nyinyi kila wakati mnabebwa na gari. You see that it's a family issue. So wale watapata and you're also at risk. Juu hiyo lifestyle ya familia. Yes. Those are risk factors. The risk factors for hypertension.
Now, with the risk factors, there are also complications to it.
Complications.
Of getting the high blood pressure.
Yes.
What are they?
So complications means if you do not manage your pressure, blood pressure well, what are you going to get? As in, what are the damages that will be brought up by high blood pressure in your body? So that is the complication. And this one goes to those people who are already, they already know that I'm hypertensive. So if you fail to manage it, this is what happens. And the blood flow in a very high speed in your body. Number one, it will automatically damage your blood vessels.
Oh.
Yes, so you're going to have issue with your vessels in the body.
Okay.
When you have the issue with the body, you will get condition like stroke. So any person who has stroke, or whoever you know have a stroke, it was brought about by, if that person had hypertension, that person did not manage his or her blood pressure well. So what happens under the stroke? Stroke is whereby somebody get paralyzed in a specific part of the body. It usually comes when the blood vessel that was supplying the oxygen and the nutrients to that specific parts of the body maybe was damaged. For instance, even we have a blood vessel that supply this hand with the blood. If because of pressure my vessel, that main vessel get destroyed, ama ipasuke somewhere, you get stroke of the hand.
Because blood flow.
I flow to that part of the body. Watu wanasema you become paralyzed. If at all we have a blood vessel yenye inapeleka damu kwa akili, nasikia watu wamepata ile stroke that so kwa akili ikikuwa damaged by that pressure. Remember wakati inaenda very fast, kuna high likelihood that kwamba kuna some blood vessel which are going to rupture. Juu inaenda mbio. So that's stroke. It's a complication of a very high blood pressure. So that's a complication if you don't manage your blood pressure well. Then another complication, diabetes. So you get diabetic later. Okay, this high blood pressure predisposes you to diabetic. You can have kidney failure. When the blood pressure is flowing at a very high speed, it destroys the nephrons in the kidney stop working. Actually, we have so many people who are on dialysis because they failed to manage their blood pressure. Another issue is the issue of the eye. Unapata macho haifanyi kazi because the vessels were destroyed. So the issue of the heart, when the heart is forced to work a lot, kwa sababu huku in your vessel there are so many obstacles. Kuna mafuta mingi imefunga hiyo, and you're not managing it well. So what happen? The muscle in the heart will thicken. Najua hii heart inafanya kazi zaidi. So you're going to have issue with the heart, which might cause heart attack, heart failure. So those are complications. So in a very simple terms, just by listing them, stroke, kidney failure, the issue with the heart attack, heart failure, diabetes. So those are complications. Eye problems. Yes.
Usione hypertension uone ni kitu rahisi hivyo, it can really mess you up.
It can really mess you up.
And so now to get to manage,
yes,
you know, ndio usipate hizo complications.
Yes.
So how do you get to manage it?
This is how we get to manage it. Already tumesema your blood pressure hiyo ya juu isipite 140, hiyo chini isipite 90. So you already have the information. Number one, you keep checking. So ingia kwa any chemist, ingia kwa any facility, tell them check my blood pressure. Already you know how to interpret the reading. So utajua kama iko sawa ama iko sawa. That's number one. Number two, kuna hiyo clinic huwa unaenda. A follow up. Be strict on follow up. Fuatilia. That's where the drugs get adjusted the right way. Ndio zikae vizuri. The doctor will assess your blood pressure. Akiona hii inahitaji a closer follow up, atakwambia kuja after 2 weeks. Akiona wewe umemanage vizuri, atakwambia kuja after 3 months. It depends with how you have managed your blood pressure. Number 3, medication. Be very strict on medication. You don't miss medication. Remember, this medication is meant to bring your blood pressure back to that normal range where it's supposed to be. So if today you say leo sina dawa na juu imeisha na kliniki yangu ni next week, I'll go to the facility next week, you don't know what will happen in between. Yeah, because if today your blood pressure is okay, then tomorrow you don't take medication today, and tomorrow you check the day after tomorrow, it will be very high. Because ililetwa pale na da. So that's number 1, medication ikuwe sawa. Another thing, lifestyle. If you have high blood pressure, you need to check on your weight. So do exercise. Tuchome ile mafuta mbaya from the system. And we only do that by
your
doing...
bad cholesterol ina clog,
Yes. We burn it. So your lady ulikuwa na iko pare sasa. And maybe that was the cause of the blood pressure. When you exercise, inajitoa tu pole pole. That energy you generate, walking, kukimbia, whatever exercise you do, hiyo that cholesterol inaenda tu ikidisappear, ndio ina supply your energy. And we don't do an intensive exercise. Si ati ukimbie like 100 meters. No. Like umanyara, hapana. Ni kidogo tu. Mild exercise. When you do a lot of exercise, mwili haiburn fats. It burn on sugar. And our issue is fats.
Issue ni fats, sugars.
Si sugars.
Excessive in a burn sugars.
Yes.
Excessive aggressive exercise.
Yes.
Okay.
So tunafanya kidogo. Brisk walking hivyo. So and then another issue is we control our psychological issues. Stress.
Najua watu wanauliza watacontrol aje stress daktari.
Yes.
Watacontrol aje?
Number 1, kila mtu anajijua. Like for instance, there are people who get angry because of something. You run away from that thing. Okay, kuna zingine huwezi potelea. But for instance, I ask people. Kuna mtu akisikia maybe this, I don't know if at all it's the issue for men. Anapenda mpira sana. Akisikia Man U ilichapwa jana, anapata stress. So that's something you can control. Yes. So kuna hizo zenye unajua this one naweza potelea. Kuna zingine uko nazo kwa nyumba. There is no way you can be able to escape. But you can do this when like for instance kuna kitu inanisumbua, if I make myself busy, like right now I'm talking to you, sifikirio.
So you're concentrating on the topic.
Yes, on the topic. Ufikiri. So when I come and start watching TV, si mimi nasikiza venye unasema. So that's another way of kutoa zile stress. Usikae peke yako and keep on thinking about it. Number 2, on the issue of stress, we do it as in the workplace, in the family. So mimi najua somebody has high blood pressure. Na kuna kitu nafanya inamkasirisha. That's when you say, for his sake or her sake, sitafanya hivyo. That's why we always say we approach this issue as a team, not alone. We do counseling. You're cancelled. But we have some issues zenye zinafanya ukuwe na stress kwa wingi, be cancelled on them. Number 2, as a family tusaidiane and also play your part. Hii unikasirisha, I evade that. Napotelea hiyo. So that is stress management, physical exercises, na ile medication. Once you have done the 3, we remain with diet management. So tumesema hii pressure inakuja kwa sababu either you have a lot of fats deposited in your arteries. So sasa kitu ya kwanza tunafunga hiyo that supply. Hii mafuta yote tunasema ni bad cholesterol. Which are these fats? Think of any fats yenye at room temperature is solid. You're not supposed to take that. Because inashikana haraka. The same way unaiweka hapo unaona imeshikana. Itashikana kwa mwili.
So we do purely liquid stuff.
We do purely liquid fats. Actually tunasema hivi, bad cholesterol comes from animal sources. So for instance, nyama hufai kula yenye iko na mafuta. Itashikana.
Mtu anapenda kwa
white. Yes.
Nieke kata kwa mafuta.
Yes.
So you avoid it.
You avoid it fully. Because hiyo ikishikana kwa mwili, and also it's very simple. Umeona watu wakikaranga chakula na ile mafuta ya ng'ombe. Alafu wakati unakula unaona imeshikana kwa kijiko.
Unaona venye na hiyo color yellow ama white
or whatever. Ama ukipika chakula ikishakuwa baridi kidogo inakuja juu. That's exactly the same thing that happens. That's the plague. Yenye itaenda tu ukisha kula, it will be absorbed into your system, itaform. Ende clog. Na sana we always say, okay, ona mtu, you see sometimes this mtu mwenye ako na kilo mingi ana avoid hiyo. Hao wenye wako na kidogo, they think that fat will help. But it doesn't. Okay? So inaenda, and that's why utapata pressure, si issue at na overweight peke yake. We have some people who are not overweight.
But they have pressure.
They have pressure.
Okay.
Kwa sababu vessel imejaa hiyo mafuta. So any fat ukikelea kwa meza ni mbaya, usikutumie. Ile mafuta ya maziwa, the cream. What's solid fats? It come from the animal. Butter. See those things. So hizo zote tuna avoid, but it's simple. Wekelea kitu kwa meza, is it solid fats? Did it come from animal? Toa hiyo kwa diet yako. Aya, we have good cholesterol. Or better cholesterol. Or good, yes, it's called good cholesterol. We call it high density lipoprotein. Sasa hiyo utusaidia pia kutoa zile zilikuwa zimekwama kwa vessels. So good cholesterol come from plants. Any fats from plant, it's good for you. Hata ufai kuogopa. Hiyo ndio inatumika kutengeneza hii ya liquid fats. Hizo yenye tunatumia. So zinatoka ya maji. Yenye wao tunasema tumia. It's good kwa sababu it doesn't accumulate. So ukule avocado kwa wingi, it's from plants. Inatusaidia kutoa zile mbaya. Ukule coconut kwa wingi, ukule macadamia kwa wingi. You see those stuff. Anything that come from plants and it's fatty, kula kwa wingi. Anything that come from animal, toa from your diet.
Na ni kutoa kabisa, unaweza kula once in a while daktari. Unajua kuna vitu zingine man. Uzuri tu.
Yes. For me, I always say, unajua this stuff that are bad for our body, they're very sweet.
Ni ukweli.
Kabisa. So I'll say this, kuna mtu saizi anakaa uko ushago, that person walk for a very long distance.
Yes.
So huyo sitakuwa so strict on this kwa sababu wanaiban. But any person who lives in an urban setting, ama mtu mwenye wewe you know yourself. But in simple terms, wacha tuseme tutoe because it doesn't help at all. But sasa kuna hiyo, if somebody comes from very far, maybe utamwambia you take lakini kidogo. But kama if you come from town or urban areas like here, avoid to. So that's number one. That's fats. The second one is salt. Salt has sodium. When sodium accumulates in the body, it draws water from the cell. Like for instance, we have the total amount of blood in a flow kwangu. If I take a lot of salt, ile maji inafaa ikae kwa mwili, haifai kuwa kwa damu, it will be drawn to the blood. So unapata roho yako, maybe blood yako, maybe let's say assume it was 4 liters. It's just an assumption. Then you may take a lot of salt or salty foods, easy food processed that have a lot of salt. So it draws a lot of water to the blood sasa. So unapata roho yako sasa ina work on a lot of water combined with blood. So you also reduce on salt intake. So it's just that. And the two, yes, fats.
That are very important.
Yeah, fats and salt. Yes.
Now coming to the preventive measures. Sasa I know the preventing pia ita classifywa kidogo na management kwa sababu one thing you prevent the high intake of salt and all of that. But is there anything else that for that person who does not have the high blood pressure can do to prevent in the future?
So to prevent in the future, so we were talking about the management, kwa hivyo ilikuwa ya ule mwenye ako nayo. So this person who doesn't have na hataki kupata, number one tumesema inakuja because of fats, tutoe fats. The bad one. Salt we reduce. Don't usitoe kureduce. Yeah, we just say reduce. But the salt inakuwa na something else added on it. We call it iodine. And it's very crucial for the body. Let's just say that. So we need it. So tumia tu kidogo.
And what about raw ya kuweka kwa table?
Kwa table.
Kuna watu maybe umepata mtu amepika na unasikia hiyo food haina salt, haina
unaenda unaongeza. So actually the reason we always say usiongeze, it's because before you feel you ya kuongeza, you know it is cold. Utaongeza mingi. So in the process utakula mingi. That's why we always say weka ikiwa inaiva ndio ishike haraka. You take little. So hiyo ya kuongeza it's no. And then other management, other preventive measures is here tulikuwa tumeongea about the exercise, ili kama ulikuwa umeweka utoatoe to avoid stress.
It's just back to the risk factors.
Back to the risk factors. Sasa we maneuver the risk factors. We make sure that we as in we work on the risk factors. Yes.
Okay, as we get to wind up, nini mtu anafaa kujua about hypertension yenye huwa inaavoidiwa sana kuongelewa ama it's not, watu wengi hawajui kuihusu? You've not talked about it.
I've not talked about it. So I'll always say this, hypertension, it's easy to manage. That's number one. Many people will think ati nikiambiwa leo niko na high blood pressure, it's a death sentence. It's very easy to manage. That's number one. Number two, there are people who will tell you we can manage this with some stuff. Unaona other stuff. Like kuna mtu anakuambia usiende hospitali. There are some foods to dawa outside there yenye inasaidia.
Let's call it as it is. I'll take responsibility for it. Miti shamba, some sort of.
Miti shamba, some sort of. Yeah. So, hizo vitu zote, you're supposed to make sure you usiingie kwa that category.
Okay.
So, me I always say this, kama kuna miti shamba uponya hizi, I think it's supposed to be approved by the government.
Okay.
But you just don't go anywhere. Atina huko ushago and somebody tells you take these and these and these. Because we have seen so many complications for those people who take that. So, if at all we can, and other myths, kuna watu wanaamini so many issues about hypertension, misconception about hypertension. Is it communicable? Kuna mtu anasema huyu anaweza niambukiza hypertension. It's not communicable.
Okay.
When you have it, hiyo huwezi pitisha kwa mwingine.
Ni yako unakaa nayo.
Ni yako unakaa nayo. Same to other conditions.
Yes.
So those are the stuff we are supposed to, at least we are supposed to know about them.
To know about it.
Yes.
There's someone who is asking here as we get to wrap up because time is not on our side. Good topic. Doctor, kindly go to the churches and preach that gospel. Wazee tunaangamia. I think you need to uchukue the advice from our very good viewer.
I will do that.
You go to the churches sasa.
Actually we go. Yeah, we usually go when we are invited. So some churches invite us. We just go and talk about it. Mtu anajijua. And also ni vizuri in your family. Najua siku hizi kila mtu you are taught ndio hata wewe ukuwe daktari. So sometime you go, you talk on our behalf.
Okay.
Alafu
bora ukuwe na the right information.
Bora ukuwe na the right information. Yes, and also today I've taught them how the normal blood pressure.
Yes.
So in your family, we tafuta kare kama machine. It's very cheap.
Okay.
We GP market. You'll never get into that. Ukiona kana panda kidogo, utajua how to manage it.
Yes.
Hata hutafika pale.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Daktari, it's
Thank
always an honor to have you.
Thank you.
Because you give us insights that are very, very important and crucial. Kwa sababu mtu akisikia na make sure amejiangalia na asipate. Unajua ni maisha mtu umesave.
Yes.
So thank you for saving our lives.
Thank you so much.
And thank you
for having me.
Yes, and thank you to everyone who has tuned in. I hope you have learned, and I hope now you know all that entails about high blood pressure. I hope hakuna swali tumekosa kujibu. Kila swali tumeuliza on your behalf. And so daktari,
thank you.
Asante sana.
Karibu.
And when you go to the hospital, that is the Bahati Sub-County Hospital, tuma salams from Mizpah Tv.
I will do that.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana.
We get to wind up on that, but I'll be back. Na pia usisahau kuwa hii siku huwa tunakuwa na twende jikoni. So I'll be back to tell you what we'll be going to cook in the kitchen. There's another amazing topic I have for you guys. Stay tuned.